All right, guys, I got a very, very special guest today. So as you can see out here on the practice course, we got some stuff set up. We only have 1 through 6 set up, and that's all we're going to need. But anywho, I'm going to let this guy introduce himself as far as his name. But what I'm going to say to you is, very, very special guest. All right, I call him Pop. I'm not going to give up his name because this is my NYPD father. If it were not for this guy, I probably wouldn't be talking to you, right? Because I'm talking to you by way of having motorcycle skill that was attained from the NYPD, the elite NYPD Highway Patrol Motorcycle Unit. I would not have gotten into that unit had it not been for this guy, for his leadership, right? He's probably not going to tell you this, so I'll say it. This guy is a retired NYPD Bureau Chief. And for those of you that don't know what a Bureau Chief is, if you know what a Bureau Chief is in the NYPD, put it in the comment section. But for those of you that don't know, that's a 3-star chief. There's only one more star to go, right? All right, let's talk to him. What's your name, sir?
Hi, Gerald Nelson. But being an NYPD alumni, I'm retired Chief Gerald Nelson from the NYPD. And I've known Bobby for a few years, a couple of decades now.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I already said it, but I want you to say it. You said you were a chief. So I know there's 4 kinds of chiefs you can be. What kind of chief were you when you retired?
Let's just start with the basics for NYPD. You come on as a police officer, then maybe you can make detective, but after that comes sergeant, comes lieutenant, comes captain, then deputy inspector, then full inspector, then 1-star chief, then 2-star chief, then 3-star chief. I acquired the rank of 3-star chief. After that, the chief of department, of which there are only 1, and that's a 4-star chief, then a deputy commissioner, then the police commissioner. At the time that I was in the NYPD, there was only 3 people that can tell me what to do as my supervisor. The rest, everyone else, was my subordinates.
Absolutely, and that is not just a bureau, because people get confused. Not just a bureau you were in charge of. That's anybody below your rank.
Anybody below my rank, and of the 3-star chiefs, at the time I was in, there was probably only maybe 10 of us, maybe 11 of us that attained that rank.
So thousands of people you were in control of. Thousands, literally.
Maybe 36,000 uniform and another 12,000 civilians. So you're talking close to 48 to 50,000 members of the service within NYPD, uniform and civilians.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that into perspective, guys. I was a lieutenant of police, right? I was in charge of, well, technically the same thing applies. I'm a lieutenant of police in the highway patrol for the people that work in the highway patrol, but anywhere I go in the NYPD, anybody below that rank, I'm their supervisor as well. So we're always in charge of thousands of police officers. And where I'm living right now, the police departments that are down here, I know everything is small. It's apples and oranges really, but all right, enough about the NYPD. Let's talk more about this man. Where are you from, sir?
From New York City. I currently live in Queens. But basically, my birth certificate says that I was born in a place called Benningsville, South Carolina. So I'm not too far from those who live in this particular area in Savannah. But that's what the birth certificate says. Mommy and Daddy migrated to New York when I was an infant, so I'm a New Yorker.
Okay. And how long have you been riding a motorcycle?
I've been riding bikes, oh my God, since 1976. I bought my first motorcycle. It was a 76 scooter, excuse me, Sportster. Okay. We call them scooters. And I enjoyed it. I was laid off at the time. And then after that, I put the bike down, and I built a chopper. After that, I picked up a custom Wild West motorcycle in 2000. It's like a Roadster Twin V. I love the bike. I haven't ridden since 2008. I'm getting back into bikes, so I call my son, one of my PD sons. I only have like 3 or 4 that I call son, and Bobby's right up there as one of my favorite sons. I said, Bobby, I'm thinking about getting back into bikes. So he told me what he was doing. I jumped on a plane, and here I am.
All right, and what are you riding today?
What I'm riding there, I'm riding one of Bobby's bikes, and I'm not a Harley man to name it, but it's the bike that's behind me, and I'm quite sure all of you Harley riders know exactly. And you've probably seen it out here plenty of times when Bobby has been giving his courses and his preload theories.
It looks like a 2019 Road King special.
Wow, I guess that's what it is.
All right. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how would you rate your slow speed skills?
I would have to be honest with myself and give myself a -0.5. I thought I could ride, and me and Bobby went riding yesterday. And once you pull off and you're riding, it's no big deal. Everything's fine. Then Bobby just showed me a whole new spectrum of which I should have known for all the years that I rode. So I have to say I am a -5.
Okay, and what's key that he said is I have to be honest with myself. And that's what I always tell you guys. You have to be honest with yourself. We leave our egos on the curb because we're here to learn. All right, this is a learning environment. It's a controlled environment. So dropping your motorcycle, as I always say, is par for the course. especially out here. All right, this is where you want to make these mistakes. All right, so that you don't, it lessens the odds. There's nothing's 100%. But the more proficient you are on this thing, it's going to lessen the odds on things happening out there, okay? All right, so we're going to get to work 1 through 6. Obviously, there's no bonus today, but you never know. This guy might get struck by lightning, and we have to reconfigure these cones. All right, let's do it. All right, so the first thing we're going to start with is exercise number 1, which is stopping and starting. So I noticed that when you left my house the second time, and when you made the turn, as you were going up the block, I heard the engine going. So your RPMs are too low. So that's when preload and keep it loaded. You have to keep it loaded the whole time. So everything that you're doing out here, starting from this, is the same rule. Get your RPMs up to, forget about the number, we'll listen to it. You can hear when it's too low. And whatever it's at, keep it there. Now there's going to be fluctuations, that's fine. But that's why I want you to be a little bit higher. So that way if it goes down, you can bring it back up, you're good. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have you do is, I usually do it over there, but we're right here. I'm going to have you ride down there, and then you're going to ride back toward me. I want you to get up to about second gear. And I want you to downshift initially when you're stopping, front and rear if you want. You only need the front really because you're going to be going about 25 miles per hour. Once you get to 15 miles per hour or less, all right, you don't really have to pay attention to your speed. When you see you're getting ready to stop, rear brake only. Again, smooth rear brake application. And when you're about to stop, if you feel a little go back into the friction zone just a little bit to pick the motorcycle up, a little bit, stabilize it, and at the same time you're applying that rear brake, come to a smooth stop, and when you come to a stop, put your foot down. Now, like I told you yesterday, it's not a surprise when you're going to stop because you're in control of it. So there's no reason to have your foot out 25 feet before the stop. Just like when you start to move, there's no reason to keep your foot on the ground doing this, you know, especially with these saddlebags. We don't want to do that. All right, so once you're stopped, now it's time to go. You're going to, you should already know, but make sure you're in first gear. That's what we do all the time. Preload, cover the rear brake. Preload and keep it loaded. Keep it there. I wish I could lock it there. Keep it there. Then you're going to slowly release the clutch into the friction zone. As soon as you feel that motorcycle starting to move, just pick up your foot. You're going to be fine because even if you feel like the more you feel, the more of this you do. Just open up your hand some more. It's going to pick itself up because you're moving now. All right? Any questions?
No fall, not any so far. Let's go.
Okay. Exercise number 1, people. Start and stop. Very, very, very special guest here today. Traveled a long way, hour and 45-minute plane ride, first class. So even when you take off from here, same rule. That rule always apply. If I say I want you to go from here to here, same thing. Preload, make sure you're in first gear, blah, blah, blah. As soon as the motorcycle starts to move, pick up your foot and then stop it. We're never doing this. Okay? All right. Go all the way down there. Preload. I see as he pulls away, I hear the engine, you know, doing a little chug-a-lug. And if you hear that, the throttle's too low. Good. I heard you go back. Very good. All right. Now it's time to move. Preload. Keep it loaded. All right. So he's also, this is not his motorcycle, so he has to get a feel for that clutch handle too. So keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. So just there I told him keep it loaded and he sped up. Remember, keeping it loaded just means bringing the RPMs up, so that you have that power in reserve. It doesn't necessarily mean you're providing power to the rear wheel. All right, that's 10 push-ups. I'm probably gonna do them for him. All right, now I do recognize you're still getting used to this motorcycle and the clutch handle. So when I'm telling you to release the clutch smoothly, I'm seeing the bike do this. That's fine. You're gonna eventually work out where that is. All right, let's do it again. Okay, so you see that burst of speed? I told you, between 0 and 5 miles per hour, a lot of riders are very uncomfortable. So what they want to do is get past that as quick as they can. So that's where the burst of speed comes from, because then they're comfortable. But we want to be the boss out here, right? And of course, that strategy is not going to work. Right turns and left turns from a stop, right? You know, confined space. Okay, excellent, excellent. Keep your foot on that rear brake if you have to. You don't have to. I see the motorcycle moving forward, that's why I say it. All right, let's do that one more time. This time let's be on this side. That way, when you start, you're not right at the camera. Now, I noticed that when I said, okay, it's time to take off, turbo boost. That's because between 0 and 5 miles per hour, there's discomfort. So people want to get past that as quick as possible. Nice and easy. Your takeoff is nice and easy. Just keep it loaded. When you started to go around that turn, I heard the throttle go down. Keep it loaded. Head and eyes. All right, we're going to work on that. And that's just a matter of the clutch being released too quickly. When you're going to make those turns, if you're going straight and you're at speed, you don't have to keep it preloaded. Momentum's keeping you up. But if you go into a turn, momentum might be keeping you up as well, but I want you to concentrate on keeping it loaded. All right, reload. Head and eyes. Keep it loaded, good, good, much better. It's an honor for me to do this, guys. This guy's been a mentor. Like I said, father figure, leader. To many, not just to me, to many.
Almost.
Okay, now you lost balance and actually took your foot off to balance yourself and put it back on to stop. Now that's discipline. All right, let's try that again. Much better. All right, so guys, now do you see why this is so important? You know, you think that there's a lot of people out there been riding a motorcycle for years and just coming to a stop smoothly, they don't feel confident in it, and that's why we out here. That's why we practice this. All right, remember, we're going to cover that brake until the motorcycles actually stop. All right, this time when you come down a little slower. Just a little. Good. Just his takeoffs are getting much better. They're smoother. So he's already starting to get accustomed. This is how it is every time you come out here. We just got out here. So, you know. All right. I forgot you still had this on. So if you were cursing me out, I got it. All right, I want to do this again. I want to see us. The one you did nice and smooth was coming from this way, off camera. Maybe it's the camera. Your takeoffs are already way better. Nice and easy. All right, we're going to do it one more time. Good. Nice, beautiful. Okay. I want you to go down there, same way you just came, but I'm gonna be down there. I'm gonna walk beside you. Exercise number 2, slow ride. I know you're gonna do well in that. Preload, keep it loaded. Keep it loaded, keep it loaded. You heard that chug-a-lug? If you hear the engine going, your RPMs are too low. It's just about to shut off. Oh my God, night and day. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Slow down, good. All right, you can use the front brake. All right, did you feel uh-oh?
Yeah.
What do we do when we feel uh-oh? Well, you gotta do it, no, don't pull it in. Oh, okay, yeah. Just let that clutch out a little bit and you'll be fine. Don't worry about putting your feet down. All right, but again, fighting an instinct is much harder than fighting a bad habit, and that's an instinct. All right, let's try again. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Keep it loaded. Slow down. All right, let's try it again. Only the first time. I got Violet out here, by the way, guys, just in case I needed some more storage space. Starting and stopping, always relevant. Okay, and the reason you're coming to such an abrupt stop is when you're approaching your stop, you're going a little too fast. So start slowing down a little bit earlier if you need to. Okay, you ready? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Slow down. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Do it again. So yesterday when we went for a ride, Pop was doing the slow ride. We were doing it, you know, on the road in traffic, and he was doing it well too. But again, we're just getting warmed up. He's still getting used to this motorcycle. He has not ridden the motorcycle since, I can't say since 2008. Prior to yesterday, since 2008. All right, we're gonna work on that. All right, remember, once you start moving, wherever your hand is with the clutch, keep it there. Just use the rear brake to control your speed. Wherever your throttle is, if it's high enough, keep it there. That way we don't have too much of this. All right? All right, slow down. All right, stop right there. So, now you can shut it off. Okay, so here's what I'm watching you do. I'm watching your clutch hand going like this. And you're pulling the clutch all the way in. So that means you're going in and out of the friction zone. And when you go out of the friction zone, you lose power to the rear wheel. That's when the motorcycle feels like it's going to fall, and that's when you do this. You should be in the friction zone the whole time. The whole time. Don't go out of it. Because remember, we're going slow. If you're going fast enough where you have momentum behind you, then you can go out of the friction zone. You don't need it. But what we're doing here, I'm walking aside you, and you need to stay at my pace. If you're going faster than me, you're going too fast. That's why you need the friction zone. So let me show you something right quick. All right. Well, first of all, you're stopping. Just like when you stop in your car, it's the rear brake, so it's familiar. Boom, that's when I want to stop, that's when I finish it. I'm on the rear brake the whole time, but the good thing is this is familiar, because if you're in your car, you're stopping with your foot. Same thing here. However much pressure you apply, you decide when it's going to stop, right? When it's time for you to take off, and I do hear it sometimes, Preload. As soon as you start to move, I hear that. It goes down. You're letting out the throttle. Keep it loaded. As soon as it starts to move, trust it. Trust it. I'm in the friction zone the whole time, but the rear brake is what's controlling how fast I go. So my clutch hand's not moving. I'm gonna keep it right there. Rear brake, rear brake. If I let off the rear brake, now I'm gonna go too fast. Rear brake, rear brake. So you're dragging that rear brake. If you have to. Rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake. All right? Let's try it again. Right here, I got no momentum. Ooh, see? No power to the rear wheel. You need agua? I'm good. All right, let's do it again. And the reason we do exercise 1 and 2, because you're going to do that all day. You have to start and you have to stop. I'll meet you down here. All right, stop. Shut it off. What was deficient there? No, before I say anything else, what was deficient there?
Did I let it die?
Quite the contrary. You had plenty of preload. You kept it loaded. As soon as the motorcycle started to turn, 2 things happened. 1, you're looking down, but that's not the real issue. The real issue is you don't have the clutch out. So because you don't have, cause clearly, if you have, remember, the only way the motorcycle is going to fall is if there's no power to the rear wheel. One of 2 things are going to cause that. Not enough throttle, which I clearly heard you had enough throttle, and I want you to always listen to that engine as well. Secondly, you don't have the clutch open up enough. So you weren't in the friction zone probably at all. Okay, and lastly, sometimes people have all of that, but they're smashing the rear brake so hard the motorcycle's not moving. That wasn't the case either. It was just the clutch not being out. All right, so let's try it again. All right, good. We still got that burst of speed, but we're gonna work on it. All right, ready? Keep it loaded, keep it loaded. All right, stop right there. Yeah, so remember, there's a difference between speed and power. We just want power. So when you first go to move, I watched it when your clutch starts to go out. As soon as you pick up that foot, oh shit, and you open your hand up, and that's when it goes like this. You have to keep it, as soon as you feel it moving, that's enough. Yep. Okay. And remember that rear brake, because at the end of the day, Pop, even if you open your clutch too much, the rear brake, that's why we use the rear brake for control. It's going to help you stay controlled. So if you open up your clutch too much, you're going to be going faster than you want to go. In that small second, you're not in control. That's where the rear brake comes in. That's why when we start on the rear brake. You don't wait and then press it, because a lot of times then people press it too hard, and then the jerkiness makes people feel uh-oh, and they start panicking. As soon as you start moving, Pop, you're already covering the rear brake and applying pressure. Like I should see your brake lights on and staying on as you're moving. All right? And when you feel control, then you can say, okay, I'll let off the rear brake a little bit, I'm good. And if you feel like you're going too fast, a little bit more. Everything is subtle. Everything we do is subtle. Okay? All right, let's try it again. Go around and come back. Better. Keep it loaded. See, that throttle keeps going down. This is not going to happen overnight. It takes time. But it's worth every second. Because not only is it going to make you safer, you're actually going to enjoy riding your motorcycle more. Just by knowing how to do simple things like this. Because you always have to do this. There's no avoiding it. You have to stop. All right, now what's happening with the stop? What do you think is happening with the stop? I want you to be able to come to a stop and feel It should be smooth, you know, it should look smooth.
I don't have this loaded up.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it loaded, use that rear brake. You're doing two things at once, so it takes practice. But more importantly, be easy on that rear brake. Rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake. Easy on that rear brake. Good. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Let's slow down. Slow down. Keep it loaded. All right, we're going to do some stop and goes. Stop and goes. This is not stop and start. These are stop and goes. I'll show you in a second what stop and goes are. All right, we're gonna do some stop and goes. I'm gonna walk up here. I just want you to start, stop, start, stop. Stop. Now the reason this stop is so abrupt is too much speed to begin with. Nice and easy. Good. Better. Easier on the brake. Getting better. Stay right there. Step number 4, as soon as that motorcycle starts to move, pick up that foot. You're doing this thing. And your heel is coming real close to that engine guard, saddlebag guard. As soon as it starts to move, trust and believe. All right, getting better. Little less speed. All right, a little easier on that rear brake, nice and easy. Good, good. Keep it loaded. All right. Now right there, before you were about to stop, I saw you go like this to the clutch. And when you do that, yeah, it's gonna fall. Remember, it's rarely a time where you're doing this to the clutch, because there's never a reason to jump out of the friction zone abruptly, because you're still using the rear brake to control your speed. So nice and easy. Everything you do, nice and easy. It's like a dance. I'm purposely not going fast so you can't go too fast.
I did it again. I'll get it.
I know you will. Whoa, whoa. All right. You taking the motorcycle for a walk? All right. Good. Keep it loaded. You got that clutch all the way in. And yeah, and well, even if you're keeping it loaded, you got the clutch all the way in. Better. Nice and subtle, Pop. Keep it loaded. I keep hearing that throttle drop. Remember, if you feel like, uh-oh, because I did see it starting to lean that way, let's go back into the friction zone a little bit. Just a little. And use that rear brake easily. Better. Much better. That was the best one yet, taking off. Best one yet. You're listening to the engine, right? Got the sun on my face for no reason. Okay, that's why I came on this side. When you went to put your brake on, I saw your foot go like this. And remember, this is not like, oh shit. This is, okay, I'm coming to a nice stop. So a nice stop. Not that, okay?
Feed it in.
Yeah, feed it in, just like you would your car. Keep it loaded. Much better. You know how when you bring in your car to a stop, you can actually make it so that your car barely does this. Just by using the proper pressure of your foot and then stopping it at the same thing. All right, much better. Keep it loaded. Slow, slow, slow. Good, keep it going. Keep it loaded, slow down, slow down. Good, good, just like that. Just like that. All right, stop right there. Maybe not. You know what? I think we're going to try some trust and believe. Let me have him do this one more time, slow ride. All right, you're going to walk. You're going to ride next to me. Don't pass me. Okay? All right. Don't let me get 50 feet ahead of you either. All right, let's do it again. You passed me. Ready? Don't pass me. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Stop right there. Easy, Pop. Easy. Shut it off. Are you mad at Angel, Pop? No. Easy. Maybe it's the boots. They're heavy. I don't know. So when I said don't pass me,
I did.
And you know why you did? Again, we're still dealing with that burst of speed. So right from the start, you got right up to me. Right up to me. So I want you to, we're going to do exercise number 3. I'm just curious how you're going to do with that. Trust and believe. So right there, I just felt it. I just felt it. When we do exercise number 4, rights and lefts from a stop, majority of the reason why people, and you were watching yesterday on the video, everything in their brain is saying make a left or make a right, and then they go straight because they get that burst of speed. And when you get that burst of speed, you're not thinking about turning. You and the motorcycle just want to go straight. Just now when I started to make that turn, I felt I let out too much of the clutch, and it went like this, and as soon as it did that, rear brake. Because I'm already covering it, I don't have to jab at it. If you're not covering it and you want to go use it, then it's going to be a jab because you're searching for it. It's a no crap moment. As soon as I feel it, pick my foot up. If I feel I let the brake out or the clutch out. All right. Now we're going to do trust and believe. Do you trust and believe, Pop?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So, 5 steps to this exercise. Step number 1 is always make sure you're in first gear. Yeah, make sure you're in first gear. Always step number 1. Step number 2, cover the rear brake. So I know I'm in first gear, I'm going to cover the rear brake. Step number 3 is preload and keep it loaded. So important here, Pop, because if you don't keep it loaded, this motorcycle starts to fall. You need that power. You don't want to be searching for it. So keep it loaded. That's enough. Clutch right before the sweet spot. So if I take my foot off the brake, there's my sweet spot. So I'm going to be right before it. I want to be right before it because the next step is just pick up your foot with the motorcycle not moving. And the motorcycle is going to start falling. That's not the time to start searching for the sweet spot. So that's why you want to be right before it. So now we're staying in line with everything subtle. You feel it starting to fall, you're going to feel like, oh, but all you have to do is that. And you'll be fine because you're already preloaded. Right? So, clutch right before the sweet spot. We're not going to count to 5 Mississippi, but as soon as you feel it, just open up the clutch. It's going to feel, I know it's not going to feel great, but trust and believe. That's why it's called that. Pick up your left foot. That's it. Now you heard my throttle go down a little? That's what I mean when I say, everybody, I still do it, but I hear it. And as soon as I hear it, I correct it. The whole time you're doing this, you're covering this rear brake. That's why I could do it in a confined space. And I'm not like, oh crap, I'm going to run into something. No, because if you feel that way, that's telling you that you're not in control. That rear brake is going to make sure that you're in control all the time. So it doesn't matter if you let out too much of the clutch, you're covering the rear brake. I'm in first gear, I'm covering the rear brake, preload, keep it loaded, clutch right before the sweet spot. Without the motorcycle moving an inch, a millimeter. Pick up my left foot. And you could do something you could practice anywhere, just keep doing it. Head and eyes, straight ahead. So if you see the motorcycle turn to the right, it's because it was falling to the right. If it's turning to the left, it was falling to the left. One more time. No, I don't like that one. I moved a little bit. Try it again. All right, that's it. Trust and believe, Pop. Everything is gonna be all right. You're looking at Angel like you're mad at her. No. All right, get on her. Mount her. Mount her. There you go. Mounting that motorcycle like a motor officer. Step number 1, make sure you're in first gear. Cover the rear brake. Preload and keep it loaded. Clutch right before the sweet spot. When you're ready, pick up your left foot. All right, we're gonna do that again because here's the funny thing. It was a smooth takeoff, and that's not what we were trying to do. We're trying to not move at all. But that's why I want him to do trust and believe too. I need him to start feeling and trusting that when he feels, uh-oh, just open up the clutch hand. You don't have to put your feet down. Much better. All right, it moved a little bit. It's only the first time you did it though, no big deal. Keep it loaded. We'll try it again. Nice. Okay, try it again. This time don't move at all. But here's the funny thing. Now we're trying to do it without the motorcycle moving, and it's making your takeoffs nice and smooth. All right. Keep it right there. Good. Try it again. He's still moving. And guys, I just want to go riding with my pop. I want to go riding with him so bad and just feel the breeze. It's 10:30 in the morning now. But listen, as much as I want to do that, I need to do this. He took care of me for a lot of years. This is me taking care of him. And in so doing, taking care of his wife, because he wants to take his wife out for rides too. This is important, you know, we have to be responsible. You know, we're not children anymore, we're adults. When I was a child, I thought like a child. Nice and easy on that rear brake. All right, still moving a little bit. Trust and believe, Pop, which means you don't feel, you're not even feeling it falling. I need you to feel it falling. Give me a little more throttle. Okay. No, don't move, don't move. Pick up that foot without moving, you're moving. There we go. Throttle, throttle. 3D coming at you guys. Let me move a little further away from the camera. But guys, this is why I say it's so important to have our queens in our lives. Because we're grown men, but really we're just grown children. We're grown boys. And we want to play, we want to have fun. Sometimes our queens tell us, you're not doing that. You know how many times guys told me, I had a motorcycle, then I got married. The wife said, no more motorcycle. Had kids, no more motorcycle. You know, I get it. Our queens take care of us, and we take care of our queens. In many ways. Much better. Good, don't move, don't move, don't move, you're moving. Use that rear brake. Make sure you don't move. More throttle, more throttle. See, what's happening is, you're going in the friction zone. You want to be right before it. More throttle. Okay. I got it, I got it. Now what happened is, now I'm glad that happened. That's the first time you actually felt it falling. And your response was, boop! You let it all the way out. Not enough throttle, stall. Go back around, do what you did before, that was good. Much better. Wow. Wow. Much better. Much better. Your throttle was steady the whole time you were doing that. Nice and slow. Nice easy stop. Don't move an inch. So that foot is up and you feel it falling. Give me a little more throttle. Woo! That's what I'm talking about! There we go. Oh, it's all coming together already. Wow. Sometimes I just don't get it, guys. But I guess I should get it because it was the same way with me. On a Thursday, I was all over the place. And then on Friday, struck by lightning. Just was able, for whatever reason, was able to put it all together. That's clearly what's happening right here with Pop. Look at these stops. Way better. Let's look at the takeoff. He's preloaded. Oh my gosh. Way better. He's not picking up his foot like this anymore. He's picking it up like this. Remember, it's like a ballerina, right? It's like we're dancing out here, slow dancing. Wow. Wow. Now I just said to the camera, I don't understand what the hell just happened. But then I guess I do. Just like with me, on a Thursday, I couldn't get it. And then Friday, all of a sudden, struck by lightning. Your starts, way better. And here's the difference. Before, when you were starting, make sure when you do that, just so it feels Yeah, it's not really necessary, but it's going to make you feel more steady. The motorcycle feel more steady. When you were taking off before, you were picking up your left foot like this. Now you're picking it up like this. And that's what I mean. It's like a dance, a slow dance. Everything we do is slow and controlled, nothing herky-jerky. So that's great. I do want you to do trust and believe again because you did it perfectly, but a broken clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day. I want to see you do trust and believe again. You did it perfectly. Perfectly. Not only did you do it perfectly, you didn't take off like a bat out of hell either. Like it was perfect. Whenever you're ready. Oh yeah. Trust and believe. Right from here. Because you did it perfectly. The motorcycle didn't move an inch. You picked up your foot, and as a matter of fact, the motorcycle stood there for a little while. There we go. And the reason why I want you to have this high, I want you to hear it so I can assure you you're going to be all right. There we go. Good. All right, you think he's ready for exercise number 4? We'll see. Let's go try it. All right. So the last few times, the only reason we're even here is because the last few times when you started to move, you're not bursting out. You're going out nice and easy, which is necessary here. But the first time you go through here, you're just going to go straight through, all right? Straight through. Again, I don't want you going really fast. I also don't want you the important thing to remember is I don't care if you hit a cone. Forget about the cones. You should be looking at them anyway. You're making a left turn, you should be looking down there at that crane. If you're making a right turn, you should be looking somewhere down there. But your eyes and your head should be up. Okay? So, what I'm going to ask you to do right here, as a matter of fact, the same way you were starting and stopping, I want you to do it and just turn the handlebars. Everything else is the same. You're still keeping it loaded, preload, keeping it loaded, right? You're staying in the friction zone. You're using that rear brake, even more so now. A lot of people are scared to turn the handlebars. It makes them feel uneasy. When really it's easier to balance the motorcycle when the motorcycle's wheel handlebar is turned. It almost makes it like a tripod. You ever see somebody on a bicycle holding it still? They never do it with the handlebar straight. You got to keep them turned, right? So all I want you to do is just make a turn. Actually, turn around and come back this way. And you see that? I love that. I didn't even have to tell him. Every time he moves that motorcycle, he's practicing exercise number 1 because it's always relevant. There's no getting around. You have to do it. I don't care what kind of motorcycle you ride. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how fast you ride. You have to start and you have to stop. And we want to do it properly and then control. All right. Yeah, straighten out. Make a left turn. Stop. What's step number 1?
Which gear?
Step number 2.
Oh, brake.
That's right. Step number 3.
Load up.
Step number 4. Clutch right before the sweet spot. Step number 5 here is head and eyes. So you should be looking that way because that's the way you're going. Step number 6, you're going to slowly release the clutch into the friction zone. Step number 7, as soon as you feel the motorcycle start to move, pick up your foot. Step number 8, turn the handlebars. All right. I don't need you hurting yourself either. If it's going to fall, just let it fall. Remember, keep it loaded. That time you pull the clutch back in. Head and eyes. Very good. All right, so now he's all the way out there. So clearly we're not ready for exercise number 4, but we're going to work on it. Do it first without the cones. And the goal is, that time, he's all the way on the other lines. This time, you just want to get a little closer, that's all. Tightening things up. All right, let's try it again. Left turn. Actually, all right, good. I love the fact that you're practicing exercise number 1 every time you start. That's what you're supposed to do. All right, left turn. All right, deep into those lines again. We'll try it again. All right, I need you to trust the friction zone. You're not trusting it. So what you're doing is you're going straight, and then when you have enough momentum, then you turn the handlebar so that now it's coasting. So this is what you're doing. Here's what I want you to do. Make sure I'm in first gear. Cover the rear brake. Preload, keep it loaded. This is exercise number 2, slow ride. Just turn the handlebar. So as soon as you start to move, pick up this foot, turn the handlebars. Now it doesn't have to be that tight initially, but I want you to make this turn using the friction zone, even if you're out here. Not like this. That's momentum. All right, let's try it. Left turn. Head and eyes. There we go. Woo! Let me move my motorcycle. You can shut it off. So that left turn went from here to here because you're using the friction zone. It's like you don't have no gray area. It's either one extreme or the next. That's awesome. Broken theory. Let's do it again. It's right at least twice a day. Because this time, as soon as you started to move, head and eyes, friction zone, staying in the friction zone, staying loaded, covering that rear brake, you turn the handlebars, everything else is the same. Only difference is your handlebars are turned. Head and eyes. Good, good, much better. And because he's using that rear brake, see, speed takes away space. So if he's going too fast, that's going to take him wide. As soon as he started to go a little fast, I saw the brakes. I should have saw him the whole time anyway, but he's coming on and off of them. I have the magic strobe. So if I see it strobing, that means he came off, went back on. It's so important, that rear brake, as far as control. Pop, so important, that rear brake. So when you took off, I saw it kind of take off a little bit too quick, and immediately, you didn't smash it, you applied the rear brake, and that took your turn. Your turn started to go all the way out there. As soon as you hit that rear brake, you turn the handlebar some more, and now the turn was right on this crack instead of being all the way over here. Speed takes away space. That's where that rear brake comes in. So that was an excellent job. Excellent job. I want you to do it again. I want you to do that again. Excellent job. Now, if you ever want to, I'm sorry. If you ever forget, just remember the rectangle. It always starts on the lower left. Make sure you're in first gear. Go across to the right. Cover the rear brake. Come up to the top. Preload, keep it loaded. Come back over here. Clutch right before the sweet spot. Head and eyes. Keep it loaded. It's all right, it happens. Nice. Nice. Why am I saying nice? Because he had an uh-oh moment. Instead of putting his foot down, he trusted and he believed. That's why we do trust and believe. And that's why you need to do that over and over and over. That turn was wide as hell. Why did I scream excellent? You felt, oh shit, and instead of putting your foot down, you trusted and believed. That's why we do that over and over. I have to get you to trust and believe. All right, let's try it again. Head and eyes, baby. All right, a little too much speed there. We're gonna do it again this time. Whatever speed he starts out at, I kind of want him to stay there. I don't want him to deviate too far from that. Let me show him what I mean. A little bit better, but still too much speed, and that's why he's coming out really wide, where he should be kind of straight down there. All right, shut it down. Okay, we're getting back into the speed thing again, and now you're going out wide. So what I want you to remember is, when you start, the initial speed that you start at, it's kind of where I want you to stay, just like exercise number 2. So if you start like this, stay like that the whole time, and just turn the handlebars. So if I do that, that's why I tell people you can make a U-turn 27 feet straight up, you don't have to lean. All you're doing is exercise number 2 with the handlebars turn. This is not even a full lock. This is a full lock. Still nothing changes, right? You hear my throttle, it's steady. I'm on that rear brake, that's controlling my speed. If I come up the rear brake, it's a lot faster. I could go in and out of the friction zone and not use the rear brake at all. But we're not doing that, that takes more coordination. We're just gonna ride the rear brake, ride the rear brake. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing, how slow I'm going, throttle is still the same. Ah. And I didn't let the clutch out. Well, I was supposed to put the kickstand down first and I didn't. I didn't let the clutch out. So if I want to make this turn right there, I want to keep it in there. I'm going to start with the handlebars turned a little bit, but everything else is the same. As soon as it starts to move. All right, so when you make that turn, don't go much faster than you're starting out. You can go a little bit faster. Oh, look at that kickstand. Is that all the way? It looks a little. All right. All right, let's try it again. Control the whole time. That first 2 times, you were in control. You were pretty much on this crack. The last 2 times, you're over here. Speed. All right, working out the kinks, working out the kinks. We got some shade, thank God. Pop said, you're gonna have to edit that out. No, 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 no. We don't edit out drops, it happens. All right, he worked it out better than I did because I felt that motorcycle going over to the right. I know this is the answer. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I think I thought that I was going to be able to put my foot down. I don't know what the hell's going on. But see, this is why we practice.
The brake, not the foot.
Yes, nice and easy. He's not keeping it loaded. Keep it loaded! Got to keep it loaded. That's what's going on. See, every time you stop abruptly, the handlebars turn, it starts to fall. Nice and easy. And keep it loaded. All right, that breeze feels good. Head and eyes. All right, that's better. Now we just want to turn the handlebars more. Now he's back on those lines. I'm gonna have him try it one more time going left, and then we're gonna do some right turns. His rights might be his strong side. Easy, Pop, easy. All right, let's turn those handlebars a little bit more. Keep it loaded, head and eyes. Keep it loaded, it's going down, keep it loaded. Okay, much better, much better. Now he's actually before this crack going down the middle of the parking lot. Wait, like well before it. Better, one more time, then we're gonna do right turns. Good. A little bit more speed there, but he's still within this. I'm fine with that.
One more.
Okay. Much better. Much better. He went out a little bit wider on that one, and it doesn't even matter to me because the key was his speed. He was slow and controlled. He started out with not enough throttle, and he went back into it. Nice. That one, when you started, your throttle went down, you heard it. It went back up, you made the turn, and you stayed at a nice pace. You weren't bursting out. Very nice. Same thing, make a right turn. Head and eyes. Head and eyes. All right, it's only the first one. It's the first one. Very good. Head and eyes. Preload. Keep it loaded. It's idling. I'm like, he's still moving. Why is he taking his foot off the brake? Most people's right turns are more difficult than their left. I'm one of them. Make sure you keep it loaded. Preloading, keep it loaded. Head and eyes, turn the handlebars. All right, we got to get him to turn. Easy with that rear brake. All right, you're suffering from what they call rigor mortis of the arms. They won't turn. Turn those handlebars. Head and eyes. Throttle, throttle. Easy with that brake, Pop. And keep it loaded, you're losing the throttle. Look at me. Look at me. Come to me. Throttle, throttle. Oh, much better. Much better. Sometimes just telling somebody head and eyes, it doesn't work. If I give them an actual target to look at and say, come to me, just come to me. That's the sharpest right turn he's made. And they made it look easy too. Too low, preload. You hear you pulling up and it's going, yeah, keep it loaded. Come to me. All right, try it again. There we go. Come to me. Keep it loaded. Try it again. Keep it loaded. Nice. Much better. Ah, you lost it. You lost it. Ah. Come to me. Come on, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Keep it loaded. That turn had pucker effect written all over it. Not for me, for you. But you got it. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. You did it, Robert. Ah, yes. Kickstand. That's a damn shame. You remembered that and I did. All right, I just want him to go straight through. Keep it loaded the whole time. Keep it loaded, head and eyes. A little bit of speed, a little bit of momentum is going to make us a little more comfortable making this turn. Doing it from a stop, that's where people have the issues. 0 to 4 to 5 miles per hour. Uncharted territory for a lot of riders. Keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Keep it loaded, it's too low. Easy. All right, shut it off. When you're riding around here, I hear the engine like glugga, glugga.
And I know better because that's no good for the engine when you chug like that.
Yeah, so you're actually at idle. And you're also at idle doing this. You can't be at idle because now you don't have any margin. You're right before it's shutting off. So that's why when I see you making these turns around here, I want you to still be in the throttle, keeping it loaded. Be in the habit of hearing your engine is not right before shutting down. All right, let's try that again. Too much speed, Pop, too much speed. Exercise number 2. Exercise number 2, you're just turning the handlebars. Better. Did you see that burst of speed at the end? That's why now I have people do that and then come to a stop. I want you to be in control the whole time. I don't want you to start the turn under control and then let the motorcycle take over. All right, that's better. But I want him to do it slow. Remember, we're out here to be the boss. And I'm happy that he made that turn. I want him to make it slow. So he's in full control, 100% control. He's been a boss for years. Time to be the boss out here. Slow down, slow down. Good. Stay at that speed, stay at that speed. Preload, preload, it's too low. Too low, too low. I can hear him, he's idling. You don't want to be idling and then lean into a turn. Pick your head up, pick your head up. Good. Do it just like that. Nice and slow. Throttle, throttle, it's too low. Dismount. Okay, so what you're doing, the head and eyes is good, but you're actually looking head and eyes so soon that you're starting your turn too early and you're hitting that inside cone, and then it's too much speed. So remember, you're doing exercise number 2 the whole time. So you're coming up nice and slow, head and eyes. So it's head and eyes, handlebars. So that means head and eyes, then handlebars right before it. So you don't have to be, I don't want you going straight like this. No. What you're doing is, you're coming through, lean, and right here, burst the speed. And that's why I have people do this. That's why I have people make this turn and then come to a stop. Because I want you to be in control the whole time. All right, let's try it again. Head and eyes up. Nice and easy, slow. Use that rear brake. Much better. Much better. I don't care that he hits his cone. He made that turn nice and slow and controlled. That's what we're trying to get. Slow down, good. Getting better, getting better. Good, good. Still nick the cone. Again, I don't care about this cone. Very nice. All right, that time he's molesting my cones with his eyes. Throttle, 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 throttle. Throttle's too low. Better. Throttle's too low. I know you hear it because I hear it. You're also molesting my cones with your eyes. Head and eyes. Head and eyes. Better. Ah, more shade. Ooh, that feels good. All right. Head and eyes. Make a left turn. I don't give a shit about hitting the cones. Don't worry about that. Head and eyes, because you're doing the thing where the eyes are looking down and the head's that way. Head and eyes. Turn the handlebars. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. First try.